it's gonna end up tucked under a wig anyway. I could not fucking fall asleep last night. And then I finally did. And I fell asleep, according to my Fitbit, I fell asleep around 1, which sounds about right because I was awake long enough for Epps to come upstairs after work and talk to him for a little while. And I woke back up around 3 and I could not fucking fall back to sleep. And it was basically, 1, I have really bad cramps. 2, I was starving. I was so fucking hungry. I felt like I was going to rip my teeth out. And 3, anytime that I have like an appointment early the next day, it's like my body's like, don't get in too deep of a sleep now. You'll oversleep. Me or my kids. Anytime that I have something to do that's before 10 a.m., I cannot fucking fall asleep. And I was so hungry, I felt like I was going to rip my fucking teeth out. I thought, I'm going to binge. If I don't get up and I don't eat something, I will fucking binge. And I feel like really late at night, and when your hormones are going like wild, are like the 2 times that people with BED struggle the most. And that was me last night. And it's the first time in weeks that I've been like, I'm gonna fucking cave. So I got up and I went downstairs and I had some cottage cheese. I know a lot of people think cottage cheese is gross. I don't know if it's an Appalachian thing. I don't know if it's a Midwestern thing. I don't know if it's a Midwestern Appalachian thing, but I eat it all the time and everybody that I know does. It's really good. It's really high protein. So I had cottage cheese and I had a serving of cottage cheese, and it was like all of that in me just went away. All of it in me just went away. And I was so fucking relieved that I felt like I was absolutely going to fucking sob. It was super shitty. It was scary. I really thought at that moment, like, this is it. Like, I'm gonna fucking cave. I'm gonna binge for the first time in damn near a month. And I don't know. Cottage cheese to the rescue, I guess. I don't know. It's 8:10 and I gotta get my wig on. I've gotta find something to wear. Epps just brought me up some socks, and I'm thinking about running through the drive-thru and getting some iced coffee, even though I have an energy drink, because it's gonna be a rough fucking day. I have an appointment. I have to be there at 9:15, and then I have another appointment at noon. So I can't lay down and take a nap until at least 1. I just looked up this doctor's office on Google Maps. It's exactly where I thought it was. So it's like 10 minutes away. So I've got plenty of time to stop and get myself some caffeine. Thank God. It's 8:30, and honestly, I could leave here at like 9 and still get there on time. But school buses and garbage trucks and stuff, so I just want to make sure that I don't get angry at everybody around me for me fucking around when I knew that I shouldn't. My anxiety will not allow me to sleep because it's afraid I'm not going to wake up on time. I'm definitely running through the motions of like, can I wait until 8:45 to leave? What if I get to Tim Hortons and the line is really long? What if there's an accident? What if there's a train? What if there's a train? I have to go by a railroad track. One way or another, there's no avoiding it. There's no avoiding the railroad track. Maybe I should go ahead and leave. I've been trapped behind trains, like waiting for the full thing to pass for like 15-20 minutes at a time. And it's like right off of the bridge. It's not fun to be stuck on the bridge when it's happening. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and leave. 2 things. 1, I did not pick a good day to wear a hoodie instead of a jacket, which I oftentimes do that, but it's usually when I'm going to like appointments up the road and I don't have to sit in my van and freeze my butt off while I'm waiting for it to like warm up, you know? And two, Tim Hortons is having a bitter day. Like Tim Hortons coffee swings wild between being so sweet that it hurts your teeth and being so bitter it's hard to choke it down. But this is cold brew. So I'm kind of hoping that I'm going to get to like midway through it and then it's going to smack me in the face with sweet, which is usually what happens. Also, I guess there's three things, because the other thing is I was getting a little into my music. I had my music going on my Walmart brand Bluetooth speaker. So many people are like, yeah, you're poor. You're poor. My dashboard caught on fire.
Power
so
off.
This is my radio. Got a little too into my Ethel Kane and had to fucking whip in here. I drive past this place, but I've never pulled in here. It's brand new and there's a brand new restaurant outside of it. So I was like, oh shit. Which one do I pull into? Because it's 55 miles per hour and the shit comes on like out of nowhere. I was a little into my music too. And, I'm surprised that my van did not tip over how fast I whipped. I've got a couple minutes before I'm supposed to go in. It's 8:58. So I had time to wait for the boys' bus to come and get them, which I almost panic left before it got there because I didn't want to get stuck behind it. But I waited, had time to go to Tim Hortons. And now I'm just sitting here watching other people come and go into the building. And if this looks like it's in the middle of nowhere, it absolutely fucking is. The majority of this state is the middle of nowhere. So there are people around me that are peopling. They're alive and they exist. And this includes, but is not limited to, the little boy that lives a couple houses down that likes to stand outside of my house and scream. He's right there. So if we hear him screaming, it just is what it is. I'm not going to not film because somebody's standing there, you know, outside in a public area talking. And yeah, we pretty much just got to get used to him because he thrives when the weather gets nice. There's nothing I can do about it. I personally, as a parent, I'm like, why the hell do you let your child stand on the sidewalk and scream at the top of their lungs? But that's just me. Anyways, so I have effectively screwed myself for the day, for the night, because I came home and Epps and I had lunch. And I laid down to take a nap because I had only slept a couple of hours. And it really was not a good couple of hours. It really was not a good couple of hours. My sleep score was like 59. That's really, really bad. That means that I tossed and turned a lot. And didn't really get any like deep restful sleep. So I laid down and I took a nap. And I woke up at almost 7 and was like, oh shit. All I want right now is some ice cream. So my mission after I finish my vlog is to get some chocolate chip ice cream. But anyways, I did go to the doctor. I took you guys with me. I wanted to tell you about my visit. I absolutely love him. I got to spend over an hour with him, close to an hour and a half. He is younger, which I love because that means that he hasn't had the opportunity to become a jaded asshole yet. You know, he sat down and he was just like, tell me everything. You know, I'm going to be your GP, which means that I need to know about every aspect of your health, all your other specialists and you know, every person that you see that gives you medicine and everything. It really sucks though, because he's in my gynecologist network, which means that he can see all the tests that he ran on me in January. He can see the ultrasound, the pap smear, the culture, the blood work. He can see all that. But unfortunately, he's not in the same network as my psychiatrist. So he can't see anything about my psychiatric care. So I just have to hope that I get everything, that I'm thorough. And honestly, if I asked my psychiatrist for like a printout or like my records or something to give him, he would gladly give them over. He asked me if which he wouldn't have any choice in, but you know what I mean. He'd be thrilled about it. He'd be like, finally, bitch. He was pushing me for a long time to get a new GP because he didn't like my old one either. But anyways, he asked me if there was like anything that like had like, you know, brought me in, like if there was anything that made me finally say, fuck it, I need a new doctor. And I told him my periods and my liver disease, because I have not had my liver disease checked out since 2021, and I have lost over 90 pounds. And, you know, I told him my full history, and with, you know, my period problems and everything. You know, I told him everything that my gynecologist had done, and he was looking at it on the computer so he could see everything that they had done. And, you know, we went over my medication list, and he ordered an ultrasound on my liver. He's like, I want to check on it. He said, I guarantee you that your liver is doing better than it was doing. I guarantee you that your liver disease has not advanced at all. I bet you anything it looks so much better. It'll never go away, because that's it'll never go away. But the liver is one of the few organs in the body that does heal itself. He said, I guarantee you it hasn't advanced at all. It probably looks a lot better. Yeah, it's always going to be disease, but I guarantee you it looks so much better than it did. And I was like, okay, groovy. But I have to wait for the hospital to call me and to get an ultrasound, and he's obviously gonna do some blood work to get my liver enzymes, but it's a fasting thing. He actually was gonna, because he was like, can I just do, he asked permission if he could do a ton of different blood work on me. And I was like, I want all of it. Like, I want all of it. I want everything that you can think of to run on me. I want it. I said, I want an A1C. I want everything. I want you to check my cholesterol, my everything. So, but he wants me to fast and then go back within the next couple of days. I thought I could go tomorrow. I don't know if I can go tomorrow. I honestly feel like I'm screwed for the night. I honestly feel like I'm going to be stuck awake until 4 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to try to not be. I'm going to try to take sleeping medicine, but sleeping medicine hasn't been helping me lately. But the big, amazing, grand, wonderful news is, like, we were talking extensively about the problems that I've been having with my period, and just how like PMDD is like wrecking my fucking life right now, and how I have PMS like 2 to 3 weeks out of the month. And he looked at me, he was going over my medication list, and he was like, so your gynecologist has done all these tests on you, and you've talked to your psychiatrist about this, and he encouraged you to go to your gynecologist and to come and see me. Why has nobody talked to you about the side effects of flufenazine? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, flufenazine can severely throw off your estrogen levels. I was like, what? He's like, yeah. Severe menstrual problems and upset and change are parts of, side effects of flufenazine. And I said, well, I only started happening after I lost weight, because before that it never happened. He said, it could be that your flufenazine is working differently in your body and on your body since you've lost weight. And I told him, I said, I asked my psychiatrist not that long ago, am I taking the right amount of medicine because I've lost almost 100 pounds? Do we need to readjust my medication and reassess my medication because of my weight loss? And my psychiatrist said no. And my GP was like, but it can't happen. He said, your liver could had massively changed with your weight loss, and your body could be processing, or filtering and all this stuff, your medication differently than it was even a year ago. I said, it makes sense, but he also said, he said, I'm a good 85 to 90% sure that that's what's happening, but not 100% sure that that's what's happening. But I would bet on it. So basically what he told me to do was talk to my psychiatrist and see if there is a different medication that I can try. And I told him I have been on psychiatric medication, fluphenazine, for my schizoaffective disorder. I've been on various psychiatric medications for over a decade, since the age of 21 when I was diagnosed. And none of them have ever worked for me the way that fluphenazine has. None of them. And he said, do you feel like fluphenazine improves your quality of life? And I said, honestly, I don't know. But then I said this out loud, but then I realized how bad it could be. I look at, like my brother, and I realize how bad off I could be. I realize like I have a pretty okay life, and it could be thanks to fluphenazine, but I don't know. I don't know. He said, so you don't really know if it's improving your quality of life. I said, this is really sad to say, but when my brother is also schizoaffective, and he is just out there completely unmedicated. He doesn't go to therapy or anything like that. And honestly, we don't know how much longer we're going to have him, because he is in the grips of psychosis so badly. And I'm like, by comparison, I look at him and I see where he is, and I think that could be me. That could be me. If I gave up my therapist, if I gave up my psychiatrist, if I gave up my medicine, that could be me. Because schizoaffective disorder is a very, 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 very serious thing that a lot of people don't survive. And the fact that I'm not stuck in psychosis, the fact that my psychotic episodes are few and far between, the fact that I went, a year and a half, close to 2 years between psychotic episodes is really good. And so I said, yeah, I really do think that, fluphenazine is improving my life. And he said, okay, so I want you to talk to your psychiatrist, and I want you to see if they think that maybe you should switch it because it's hurting your estrogen levels. Or we take the good with the bad. We take the good with the bad. We just accept that you're going to have weird periods. He said it's not dangerous for you to have irregular periods. It's not dangerous. It's not dangerous. Going long periods of time without getting a period can be dangerous. I don't know if you guys know this. My gynecologist used to prescribe me, I think it's called Provera? It's like synthetic hormones that I was supposed to take if I went more than 2 months without getting a period, because your uterine lining can turn cancerous if it builds up for too long. And now I have the problem where sometimes I start bleeding and I don't want to stop. But he said, if fluphenazine is greatly improving your quality of life, we may just take the good with the bad. But if you talk to your psychiatrist and your psychiatrist says, well, this medication doesn't do that, so let's switch you to it, then let's do that. But he said, if your psychiatrist thinks that it's best that you stay on fluphenazine, and you think that it is after you talk to him, then we are just going to have to give and take with it. And he is a doctor that does not like to overly medicate people. He doesn't. And I like that. I like that. I am not somebody that likes to take medicine. You guys know this. I don't like to take medicine. He's like, I like to try, over-the-counter things before I write prescriptions. He wants me to take vitamin B and magnesium, which people around me have been telling me to fucking take vitamin B and magnesium for years. He said it could greatly not only improve like my sleep, but also help my mood, help me with my periods. And what was the other thing that he said? My migraines. He said it could really, really help with your migraines, but if push comes to shove, he is willing to give me some medicine for my migraines because they're becoming more and more frequent. I really thought that I dodged them, but I got them. Everybody else in my family fucking gets them. It just took me until my 30s to start getting them. But That's what's going on. He said 85 to 90% sure that what is happening to your body right now is just your flufenazine. Talk to your psychiatrist. You can just accept it as a side effect. If you think that being on the flufenazine is improving your life enough that if you're without it or you switch, the quality of life that you have is gonna plummet, then we're just gonna take it as a side effect and move on. But he also said your PMDD. He said, I would recommend a low dose of birth control. And I said, I took birth control when I was a kid. And it made me feel absolutely fucking nuts. And you know what he said to me? He said it was probably because you were going through puberty. And all kids, like I thoroughly stand beside. Teenagers are just mean and they're crazy because they're just angry. I was a very, very angry teenager. And I'm prepared for my kids to hit puberty and become mean because it just is what it is. You can't help it. We AFAB people get, angry whenever we're hormonal. I can't blame. Can you imagine dealing with that for years because you're in the throes of your body growing into being an adult? He was like, hormonal birth control can really, really fuck with you when you're a kid. It amps all that up. It could have been that. And I said, I don't want to gain weight. He said, low dose birth control will not make you gain weight. He said, I wouldn't recommend the shot or anything like that because a lot of people do gain weight with it. And it's dangerous for me to gain weight because of my liver. I've worked very, very hard to shrink it. And, to get to a point that my body's okay. It's never going to heal, but I can keep it under control. I can keep it under control, basically, as long as it doesn't advance any further. And yeah, he said it was the reason that you probably felt that way is because you were really young. And apparently it's like really, really common for people under the age of 25 to like lose their shit on birth control, just the same as it can be dangerous for people under the age of 25 to take like antidepressants and stuff like that. And I told him flat out, I said, I cannot take antidepressants because he said, have you ever tried Wellbutrin? Because I flat the fuck out told him, I said, I'm a very, very happy person. I'm a very positive person, but I'm also a very depressed person, which is super normal. If you ever look at yourself and you think I'm too happy to be depressed, no, it's super normal. I'll never forget being a kid and looking at my dad and being like, why am I so happy when I'm around people, but when I'm alone, I'm sad? He said, because you're depressed, honey. That's what it is. You're just depressed. You can be happy and you can be positive and you can be loving and caring and all that and still be depressed. And he was like, have you ever tried Wellbutrin? And I told him, yeah. I was on it for like 3 years and it worked absolutely wonderful for like 2 years, 2 of the 3 years. And then it started making my brain feel like it was on fire. And apparently a lot of people are the same way. I know like 2 people off the top of my head that loved it. Oh, 3 that loved it when they first started it. And then after a while, it started making their brain feel like it was full of fire ants. And that was me. So I was like, any type of antidepressant that I take fucks with me severely. The best thing for me has always been a mood stabilizer and an antipsychotic. I've done it all, including like Latuda. Latuda did nothing but make me gain 85 pounds, and that's it. It didn't do anything for me to be on it. And when I told my psychiatrist I refused to take it anymore, so he took me off of it, I felt no different at all. So I was like, I can't take antidepressants. I cannot take, they all agitate me, which is super common. And my schizoaffective disorder is bipolar type. So people who have bipolar type oftentimes, who are bipolar oftentimes struggle with that. They never tell you that, do they? They never tell you that people with bipolar disorder can have their bipolar disorder be agitated by antidepressants. They never tell you that till you end up in a psych ward. They don't tell you that. But anyways, I'm very hopeful right now. I'm very, very hopeful right now. I'm waiting on the phone call to get the ultrasound on my liver. I have to go in and get blood work done to check everything. I said, up, down, sideways, I want to be checked for it all. And he was like, good. And he already scheduled my next appointment. He scheduled me far enough out because I told him I'm supposed to see my psychiatrist soon. I'm supposed to see him like next week. And he scheduled me far enough, close enough in that I don't have to wait a really long time, but far enough out that if he decides to, or if we talk and decide to check my or change my medication, it'll be long enough that I can feel any types of effects from it. But I adore him. I really adore him. I was very, very afraid of sitting down and having him look at me and say, lose more weight. Because I weigh 183 pounds. I weigh 183 pounds. I am still, 13 pounds overweight from my highest healthy weight if you ask a medical, doctor. And the BMI fucking scale is bullshit. It says that Epps is like obese and Epps is fucking jacked. Epps is jacked, okay? Like he has the dream body for a lot of men. And if you look at a BMI scale, it says that he's fucking obese. But, I'm still 13 pounds overweight. Is it 13? Yeah, 13 pounds overweight from the highest healthy weight if you ask a doctor. So I thought he was going to look at me and say, lose weight and you'll feel better. That is the problem with a lot of doctors. They think losing weight will solve all your fucking problems. And you know what he said to me? He said, I want you to feel better. I want you to feel mentally okay. I want to get your hormones stable so your mood can be stable so that you can be happy. And everything else will fall into place, which is what I believe, which is what I thoroughly fucking believe. I think when your mental health gets better, your physical health will follow. And that's what he said to me. I was like, thank fucking God. That's what I really like about younger doctors is they are not jaded assholes. They're not, oh, go lose 20 or 30 pounds and then come back and talk to me. I asked my sister, because my sister just got a job working in a doctor's office, about one of the other doctors that I called, and it's one that she works for, and she was like, bitch, don't go to her. She is mean. If you are even 5 pounds overweight, she will look at you and say, lose weight and you'll be fine. Get out of my office. She's hateful. I was like, I think I got really lucky. I'm so lucky that I called that office. And you know what's crazy? The nurses at my gynecologist office are actually the ones that told me to call there and go to any of those doctors because they love them. So anyways, that's what's happening. I'm so hopeful. I'm so happy with him, like as a doctor and this whole situation. I honestly don't think that the appointment could have gone any better. It could not have gone any better. I am nervous about where I'm going to have to go to get the ultrasound done. I'm hoping that they'll let me go somewhere here in town and not make me go a couple of towns away because I don't trust my van. I don't trust my van to take it across town. Though I'm sure like my sister or, my ex-husband or Dee's dad will take me if I ask them to. My dad might even take me if I ask him to, but I'm so happy. It could not have gone better. I could not ask for a better doctor than him. And yeah, that's the update. But I'm going to let you guys go. I have to go get some damn ice cream. My hormones want ice cream so bad. But also, I am feeling a little bit better. My throat still hurts a little bit, but my voice is back. And obviously it's not hurting my voice to talk anymore. And I'm not really dizzy anymore. I told him, I said, I wasn't feeling too hot for a day or two there. And he's like, yeah, it's just change of the weather. That's all that it is. But anyways, okay, to sum up my word vomit, because I was talking for 20 minutes straight and I covered a lot. My doctor believes because I have lost close to 100 pounds that my liver has significantly shrank and is processing my medication the way that it is supposed to. And because of that, I am getting side effects from it that I was not getting before, like it's messing with my periods, menstrual upset. He actually pulled out his phone and showed me a list of side effects from it, and that was one of the biggest ones. He said, you probably haven't experienced these side effects because, you were 92 pounds heavier. So That's what it is. He believes that my liver has shrank and is properly processing my medication. Therefore, I am getting the side effect of menstrual upset, irregular periods, bad periods. He wants me to talk to my psychiatrist and gauge whether or not I want to deal with this side effect. Do I take the bad with the good? Do I feel as if flufenazine is improving my life enough to continue to deal with bad periods? Or should I switch my medication? And he said, that's not up to me, and that's not up to him, and that's not up to my psychiatrist, that's up to me. But he wants me to discuss it with my psychiatrist. But he said, if I feel as if flufenazine has helped improve my quality of life enough, that it would be safe for me to continue taking it, and that I can just accept that weird, bad, awful periods are just part of it if I want to. It's not dangerous, it's just shitty to deal with. But talk to my psychiatrist. So that's what it is. He believes that my liver has shrank because of my weight loss, and it is processing my medication like it is supposed to. And here I was thinking I had fucking cancer or was going through menopause. Ugh. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. And it's supposed to be pretty tomorrow, so let's go do something tomorrow. Let's go out and do something. Bye.